Welcome to Sleep with Science. Tonight, we are going to drift into a world of ideas that are as strange as they are fascinating. We are exploring the craziest philosophical theories ever imagined by human minds. Philosophy is more than just thinking, it is a journey into the deepest questions about life, reality, and existence itself. Some of these theories may feel impossible or even dreamlike, and tonight, we will explore them slowly together so you can relax and let your mind wander through the strange landscapes of human thought. So, lie back, close your eyes, and let's begin our journey into the craziest philosophical theories. Theory 1, the brain in a vat. Tonight, we begin our journey with a thought so strange it may feel like a dream, even before you fall asleep. Imagine a brain, not a brain inside a body, not a brain living and breathing, but a tiny, delicate brain floating in a jar. Around it is a clear, nourishing fluid, keeping it alive in a quiet, still environment, completely isolated from the outside world. Now, imagine wires, thin, delicate wires connected directly to this brain. These wires transmit sensations, experiences, even thoughts directly to the brain. The brain cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is fed to it through the wires. From the brain's perspective, everything feels real. It sees the world. It hears sounds, the gentle rustle of leaves, the soft patter of rain, the laughter of friends. It feels warmth, cold, hunger, even love. All of it perfectly convincing. But here's the unsettling part. None of it is real. This is the essence of a philosophical thought experiment called the brain in a vat. Philosophers use it to explore the nature of reality and the limits of human knowledge. The idea can be traced back to the works of René Descartes, a French philosopher who lived more than 400 years ago. Descartes wondered, how can we know that anything is real when our senses can deceive us? He imagined the possibility of an evil demon tricking us into believing a world that does not exist. Centuries later, in modern philosophy, thinkers like Hilary Putnam expanded the idea into the brain in a vat scenario. Putnam asked, if a brain were fed perfect simulated experiences, would it ever know the difference? The answer is no. For the brain, the simulation would feel exactly like reality. Take a moment and picture it. Perhaps, even now, as you listen, your eyes are closed, but your mind is active. You feel the softness of your blanket, the rise and fall of your chest, the quiet rhythm of your heartbeat. Now, imagine that all of these sensations are not real. That in reality, you are just a brain floating somewhere else in a silent, dark vat, experiencing an artificial world created for you by forces beyond your perception. Some philosophers argue that we cannot ever truly know what is real. Every experience, every memory, every thought could be a perfectly designed illusion. And yet, despite this uncertainty, we continue to live, to love, to dream. Let's explore this idea in everyday life. Imagine you are walking through a forest. The sun filters through the leaves, birds sing, a gentle breeze brushes your face. You feel at peace. Yet, in the brain in a vat scenario, none of this forest exists. The colors, the sounds, even the smell of damp earth are fed to your mind as if they were real. Or imagine tasting your favorite food, the richness of chocolate, the sweetness of a ripe mango, the warmth of freshly baked bread. Each sensation entirely convincing, yet entirely simulated. Some may find this idea frightening. It suggests that reality is not as it seems, that our senses may be unreliable, that the world we know might not exist. Others find it liberating. If all experiences can be created, then reality is infinitely flexible. Your mind becomes the center of a universe of imagination and perception. Now, let's consider the variations of this thought experiment. Philosophers have imagined different scenarios. One variation suggests that we are all connected to the same simulated world, unaware that our entire shared reality is an illusion. Another variation suggests that different brains could experience different simulated worlds, each perfectly convincing, each entirely separate, like parallel dreams. A more comforting variation imagines that even if our experiences are simulated, they are still meaningful. Feelings of love, joy, or sorrow exist, even if the universe outside is not real. And now, gently, let your mind wander. Imagine floating in water, warm and soft, weightless, and around you, a gentle, glowing light, feeding your brain. Every sensation you could imagine, every memory you hold, each one perfectly formed, each one entirely yours. Consider the questions this theory raises. How do we know what is real? If everything we experience could be a perfect simulation, can we trust our thoughts? Can we trust our memories? And yet, even in uncertainty, we continue to exist as observers, dreamers, conscious beings, experiencing something that feels true. Take a deep breath in and slowly out, imagining that each breath connects you to your own mind and to the quiet, mysterious world of thoughts and possibilities beyond the senses. Some philosophers have even suggested that the brain in a vat scenario is not purely hypothetical. Technology is advancing, and who knows, perhaps one day, humans may create simulations so detailed that they are indistinguishable from reality. In such a future, we may ourselves become brains in vats, unaware, living in worlds of pure imagination, dreams within dreams, worlds within worlds. And now, as your body relaxes and your mind begins to drift, let this thought gently fade into the background like mist over a calm lake, letting go of questions, letting go of curiosity, and simply being. You are safe, you are calm, and even if the world is not as it seems, your mind, your thoughts, your experience are real to you. And now, slowly, allow yourself to drift further into sleep, leaving the brain in a vat and its quiet, mysterious questions behind as you sink deeper into rest and dreams. Theory 2. Solipsism. Now, we move to another strange, yet fascinating idea. One that stretches the mind and challenges the very way we understand the world. This is the idea of solipsism. Solipsism is the philosophical idea that only one's own mind is certain to exist. Every person you meet, every object you touch, every sound you hear might exist only in your mind. Perhaps nothing outside of your thoughts is real at all. This idea can feel strange, even unsettling, because it asks us to question everything we take for granted. But it is also deeply intriguing. It turns the gaze inward, asking if everything we perceive is a projection of our own consciousness. What does it mean to be alive? The roots of solipsism can be traced back to ancient philosophy. Thinkers have long wondered, how can we know that the world exists outside our perception? Descartes, whom we met before, asked, how do I know that anything exists beyond my own mind? His famous words, I think, therefore I am, remind us that the only undeniable truth is that we are thinking, existing, aware. Solipsism takes this one step further. Not only do you exist, but perhaps nothing else does in any independent sense. Every person, every star, every leaf on a tree might exist only as part of your mind's creation. Imagine a morning where the sunlight spills through your window, soft and warm, and you hear birds singing somewhere outside. Solipsism asks, could this scene be entirely imagined? Could the birds, the trees, the light exist only because your mind perceives them? Or think about someone you love, a close friend, a family member, or a partner. Solipsism whispers, what if they exist only as figures in your consciousness, constructs of your imagination, reflections of your mind? And yet, the emotions, the feelings of love, care, or even frustration are real to you. This idea can be lonely. It suggests that connection, in the conventional sense, may not exist. Yet, paradoxically, it can also be comforting. If the world exists entirely within your mind, you are the center of your universe. You are the dreamer and the dream itself, alive together, in harmony and control. Solipsism can also be playful. Imagine, if you are the only mind that truly exists, then you are responsible for the whole of existence. Every person you see, every event that happens, is part of your imagination. Wars, laughter, sunsets, storms, all creations of your consciousness. The universe itself is your canvas. Take a deep breath in and out, slowly, letting this idea settle like a gentle fog over a quiet forest. Feel your awareness expand beyond your body into the space around you, noticing the sensations, sounds, and thoughts, all forming like stars in a calm night sky. Philosophers have explored solipsism in many forms. Some ask, if solipsism is true, can you act morally? Can you have empathy? And yet, even if others exist only in your mind, treating them with kindness brings peace to your own consciousness. Morality becomes a reflection of your inner mind rather than an external law. Now, imagine walking through a city, streets lined with people, cars passing by, lights flickering in windows. Solipsism asks you, what if all of it is entirely your creation? Every conversation, every smile, every fleeting interaction could exist only as part of your awareness. Yet, despite this, the experience, the perception, feels entirely real. This theory has fascinated writers, philosophers, and scientists for centuries. Some argue that solipsism cannot be disproven. Every attempt to prove the external world relies on your senses, which solipsism claims could themselves be illusory. And so, we live in an endless loop, questioning, perceiving, existing. Take another gentle breath in and out, letting your mind drift deeper. Imagine yourself lying in a quiet field, stars overhead, the wind brushing softly, every sound, every sensation, a gentle echo of your own consciousness, forming a universe unique to you, complete in its perfection. Consider now the subtle implications. If the universe exists within your mind, then dreams are not just flights of imagination, but windows into reality. Every thought, every memory, every fleeting idea is real in its own way, a reflection of your consciousness, creating endless worlds and endless experiences. Some modern thinkers connect solipsism with the simulation hypothesis, or even the brain in a vat. In these ideas, reality may be constructed or artificial, but solipsism goes further. It says, perhaps the very notion of outside is meaningless. All that exists is you and the universe as you perceive it. And now, slowly, gently, let go of these thoughts. Feel your mind drifting like a leaf on a calm, slow river. Let the images of imagined cities, imagined forests, imagined people dissolve softly into a warm, peaceful haze. Even if solipsism is true, even if all else exists only in your mind, you are here, aware, experiencing, alive, and that is enough. Take one final deep breath, in and out, feeling the calm, the stillness, the quiet power of your consciousness, stretching beyond boundaries, yet perfectly at rest. And now, let your awareness soften, let your mind drift further into sleep, carrying with it the quiet, infinite worlds of solipsism, where you are the dreamer and the dream itself, peaceful, whole, and free. Theory 3. The simulation hypothesis. Now, let us drift into a world that may feel both familiar and strangely alien. Tonight, we explore the simulation hypothesis. This is the idea that everything we see, touch, and experience may not be real, at least not in the way we usually think. Imagine the world around you. Every detail, every sound, every sensation is not made of atoms or molecules, but of information. The trees outside, the sun in the sky, the feeling of your heartbeat, all of it could be part of an immense computer simulation. This hypothesis has been explored by philosophers, scientists, and even technologists. Its modern form was popularized by a philosopher named Nick Bostrom, who asked a simple, yet profound question. If advanced civilizations exist in the future, and they have the technology to simulate entire worlds, complete with conscious minds, what are the chances that we are actually living in such a simulation? Take a moment and let that sink in. Imagine your entire life, every memory, every experience, every sensation is part of a program, running on some unimaginably advanced computer somewhere in a distant future, or perhaps in a reality we cannot perceive. Now, let's slow down and explore this idea with examples. Imagine walking through a forest. The sunlight filters softly through the trees. Birds sing in the distance. A gentle breeze brushes your skin. In the simulation hypothesis, all of this could be data fed to your mind, calculated and rendered to make you believe it is real. Or imagine the people in your life, every friend, every stranger, every loved one. In this world, in this simulation, they could all be part of the program, conscious in ways you cannot detect, or perhaps even controlled by algorithms, perfectly simulating independent thought. This may sound unsettling, but also fascinating. It forces us to reconsider the very nature of existence. How do we know that the world we perceive is real? That the sky is not simply a projection? That the ground is not merely a calculated illusion? That the stars are not pixels in a cosmic display? Some thinkers have even connected the simulation hypothesis with discoveries in physics. The universe may have patterns, laws, and limits that resemble computational rules. Some suggest that the fundamental structure of reality could be like the code of a computer program, elegant, precise, and deeply ordered. Now, imagine lying in a quiet meadow, feeling the grass under your fingertips, listening to the sound of a gentle stream nearby. Every sensation, every detail might be perfectly calculated, part of the simulation. Yet to your mind, it feels entirely real. And that is what makes this hypothesis so mesmerizing. Take a deep breath in and out, slowly, letting your awareness expand. Imagine the entire universe stretching infinitely, filled with worlds, simulations within simulations, realities nested inside realities, each one complete, each one self-contained, yet perfectly convincing. Some variations of this idea are even more profound. Perhaps there are simulations of simulations, so that every world you imagine could exist within another layer of reality. Perhaps we ourselves are the product of someone else's imagination, observing their own simulated universe through our eyes. And yet, even within this strange, almost fantastical scenario, there is meaning. Every thought, every feeling, every moment of joy or sorrow still exists in your perception. Even if the universe is simulated, your experience is undeniable to you. Philosophers and scientists alike have explored ways to test this hypothesis. Some propose looking for glitches or anomalies in the laws of physics, clues that our reality is not as continuous or as fundamental as we believe. Others suggest that consciousness itself might hold the key, a signal that cannot be simulated, a proof of awareness within a simulation. Imagine now gently closing your eyes and letting your mind drift through this simulated world. You walk through a quiet forest. The sunlight flickers like pixels through the leaves. Birds sing in harmonic tones. Every sound, every sensation, perfectly rendered, yet gently softened for your comfort, as if the universe itself wants you to relax, to explore, to drift. Consider now the deeper implications. If we are in a simulation, what does it mean for our lives? Every choice, every moment might be part of a larger program. Yet the beauty of this idea is that your experience, your consciousness, remains real within the simulation. You are aware, you are alive, and even in a constructed reality, your thoughts, your emotions have depth and meaning. Some scientists have even speculated that the very universe may be a kind of cosmic video game, where the laws of physics are the rules and consciousness is the player. And perhaps our task is simply to experience, to explore, to be aware, and to find joy within the simulation. Take another gentle breath in and out, feeling the calm, the quiet, the immense, infinite possibilities that stretch around you like a vast, virtual sky. Let your mind drift slowly, letting go of worry, letting go of certainty, and simply existing in the moment, aware, peaceful, and serene. Now, imagine yourself floating above the world, seeing cities, mountains, rivers, all rendered perfectly, all part of the simulation, yet all beautiful, alive, and calm. Feel the quiet energy of a universe that may not be real in the traditional sense, but is entirely real, in your experience, in your awareness. And finally, as your body relaxes and your mind begins to sink deeper, let this thought fade gently, like the setting sun, into the quiet of night. Even if the universe is a simulation, even if everything you know is part of a program, your awareness, your experience, remains uniquely yours, undeniable, and infinitely precious. Take one last deep breath in and out, letting your mind soften and melt and drift into dreams, carrying with it the endless possibilities of the simulation hypothesis, a universe of infinite layers of infinite creation, waiting for you to explore as you sleep peacefully, completely, and freely. Theory 4. Eternal Return, the infinite loop of existence. Close your eyes and imagine time itself as a circle, not a straight line, not a beginning and an end, but a perfect, endless loop, turning quietly, without rush, without pause. Every breath you take, every word you speak, every thought that passes through your mind has happened before and will happen again infinitely. The same sunrise, the same laughter, the same heartbreak, over and over, forever. This is the ancient and unsettling idea of eternal return. It whispers that existence is not a one-way journey, but an infinite repetition. That everything, from the birth of galaxies to the blink of your eyes, repeats in a cosmic cycle that never ends. And if this is true, then you have lived this exact moment infinitely many times before. You have heard these same words in countless loops of eternity, and you will again. The idea of eternal return is older than written history. It appears in ancient Hindu texts, in Greek philosophy, in Buddhist cosmology, and later, in the work of Friedrich Nietzsche. In Hinduism, it is called samsara, the eternal cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. A soul travels through endless lifetimes until it finally awakens and escapes the wheel. In ancient Greece, the philosopher Heraclitus believed the universe is eternal, but constantly in flux, always burning, always reborn, like fire feeding on itself. And in the vast emptiness of the night sky, early astronomers wondered, if stars die and are born again, could time itself also die and be born again? The pattern repeats. The circle never ends. Every heartbeat echoes through infinity. But it was the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche who gave this idea its most haunting form. He called it the eternal recurrence of the same. He asked his readers to imagine that one night, a demon appeared to them in their loneliest hour and whispered, "This life as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more, and there will be nothing new in it. Every pain and every joy will return to you in the same succession and sequence." Now imagine how that would make you feel. Would you fall to your knees and curse the demon in despair? Or would you smile and say, "You are a god, and never have I heard anything more divine"? Because if eternal return is true, if every moment returns infinitely, then how you live each moment becomes infinitely important. Every small action, every quiet kindness, every cruel word repeats forever. Every choice echoes eternally, and every second is the seed of infinity. Modern physics does not easily reject this idea. Some cosmologists believe that the universe might expand and then collapse back into itself in a repeating cycle known as the Big Bounce. In this theory, every Big Bang is followed by a big crunch. The universe dies and then is reborn, carrying the same energy, the same atoms, rearranged into new patterns, or perhaps the same ones again. If that is true, then this exact conversation may have already happened. The stars above you have exploded and been reborn countless times. Every particle in your body has been recycled through the bones of ancient stars, through the hearts of galaxies, through other beings who lived and dreamed before you. So maybe you are not just you. Maybe you are an echo of a pattern that the universe keeps repeating endlessly. Nietzsche's eternal return is not just a theory about time. It's a test, a mirror held up to the soul. He asked us, if you had to live your life again, exactly as it is, forever, would you still choose to live it? Would you still make the same choices if you knew that every joy and sorrow would repeat eternally? Would you embrace your life, not despite its pain, but because of it? He believed that to say yes to eternal return is the highest form of affirmation, a love for life so deep that even eternal repetition cannot diminish it. To truly love your life is to love it forever. So, think for a moment. All the things you regret, all the moments you wish you could erase. What if those moments are eternal? What if they are stitched into the fabric of existence, forever playing out in the grand theater of the cosmos? Does that idea make you afraid? Or does it make you cherish this moment more? Because right now, you are not just living a passing instant. You are living a moment that will echo across eternity. Close your eyes. Imagine you are standing at the edge of the universe. Before you stretches an infinite field of stars, galaxies, and light. Now imagine the universe breathing. With each breath, it expands, and then it exhales, collapsing back into itself. Over trillions of years, the rhythm continues. Each expansion, each collapse, creates the same dance, the same people, the same lives. Over and over. Some physicists call this the oscillating universe. And in this infinite cycle, you might be destined to be born again and again, in the same form, under the same stars, to repeat every dream, every fear, every smile. Perhaps in another version of this universe, you are listening to this same story, in another bed, another time, another life, but everything feels just the same. In Buddhism, this idea is reflected in rebirth, the cycle of samsara. But unlike Nietzsche's terrifying eternity, Buddhism offers an escape. Through enlightenment, one can break free from the endless loop of birth and death, awakening into nirvana, a state beyond repetition, beyond illusion. Meanwhile, in modern thought, some scientists see eternal return not as literal repetition, but as a pattern recurrence. If the universe is infinite and the number of possible atomic arrangements is finite, then statistically, somewhere out there, far beyond our observable universe, there exists another version of you, sitting, breathing, listening to these same words. A cosmic twin, existing billions of light years away, living a life that mirrors yours, atom for atom. And if infinity is truly endless, then there are infinite versions of you, each living the same moment, forever and ever. What does this mean for us? If everything repeats infinitely, does anything matter at all? Or does it mean that everything matters infinitely? Nietzsche believed it was the latter. That eternal return is not a curse, but a call to greatness. A reminder to live so fully, so passionately, that even if life repeated forever, you would want to relive every second of it. He called this philosophy Immortality, the love of fate. To not just accept what happens, but to love it, because it is yours, eternally. So as you breathe and listen to the quiet rhythm of these words, ask yourself, if this moment, right now, were to repeat for all eternity, would you embrace it? Would you find peace, knowing that this small, simple moment is infinite? Take a deep breath, in and out. Feel the air move through you, as if the universe itself is breathing through your body. You are part of this cycle. The atoms in your body have lived 1,000 lives. In stars, in oceans, in other hearts. You are the universe, remembering itself, again and again and again. And perhaps this is what eternal return truly means. That we are never lost, never gone, just endlessly rediscovered, in different forms, in different times, forever. Now, let your thoughts drift, as the circle of existence turns quietly in the background. Every breath repeats, every heartbeat echoes, and in this eternal rhythm, you are both the beginning and the end. Sleep peacefully, traveler of eternity, for you have lived this moment before, and you will live it again, forever. Theory 5. The Holographic Universe, the Illusion of Reality. Close your eyes and imagine a beam of light traveling through space. It moves endlessly through stars, through dust, through the quiet dark between galaxies. It has no mass, no weight, yet it holds everything. It paints the universe we see. It gives life, warmth, and color. But what if that light is not what it seems? What if the world around you, everything you can touch, taste, and see, is not solid at all, but a projection, a vast, cosmic illusion like a hologram? And what if you, too, are part of that hologram? A three-dimensional image created by information, etched onto the surface of the universe itself? This is the breathtaking idea of the holographic universe, a theory so mysterious and so beautiful that it blurs the line between physics and philosophy, between reality and dream. Look around your room, the walls, the ceiling, the air, your body. Everything feels solid, real, and certain. But physics tells a different story. At the smallest level, everything is made of atoms. And atoms are almost entirely empty space. The nucleus, the heart of the atom, is smaller than a grain of sand in a cathedral. The electrons orbiting it are not solid particles, but shimmering clouds of probability. What we call matter is not a thing, but a vibration, a pattern, a wave of energy. You are made not of substance, but of information. Your body, your mind, your memories are arrangements of data, encoded in the language of the cosmos. And so, the holographic theory asks a daring question. If everything we experience is made of information, then could the universe itself be a cosmic hologram? In the 1990s, a physicist named Leonard Susskind and another, Gerard T. Hooft, began to explore a strange idea born from black holes. When matter falls into a black hole, its information, all of its physical properties, should be destroyed. But physics says information cannot be lost. So where does it go? The answer shocked the scientific world. The information doesn't vanish. It gets stored on the surface of the black hole, like data written on a two-dimensional screen. The black hole, then, contains a three-dimensional volume of matter, but all the information describing it is encoded on its two-dimensional boundary. And that was when the cosmic realization appeared. If black holes behave this way, perhaps the entire universe does too. Maybe our three-dimensional world, our depth, our space, our movement, is just a projection from information written on the cosmic horizon. of the universe itself. A hologram, a universe projected from its edges. The holographic principle suggests that every point in the universe contains the information of the whole, just as a hologram, when broken into pieces, can still recreate the entire image within each fragment. So too, every part of the cosmos may contain the blueprint of everything else. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, folded into a single form. Every cell in your body carries the same energy that burns in distant stars. Every atom within you once lived inside a supernova, and before that, inside another universe entirely. So when you look at your hand, you are looking at stardust, memory, and ancient light. You are the universe, looking back at itself. A hologram. Inside a hologram. In the quantum world, reality doesn't exist until it is observed. When scientists observe electrons, they behave like particles, solid, measurable. But when no one looks, they behave like waves, spread out, uncertain, infinite. This experiment, called the double-slit experiment, tells us something strange. The act of observation itself creates reality. So what is real? The object or the perception? The holographic universe theory merges this question with physics. It says the universe you see is not created by particles of matter, but by the interference of information, just as a hologram forms when light waves meet and interfere to create the illusion of depth. Reality is not built, it is rendered, like a cosmic film, projected from beyond space and time. If the universe is a hologram, then what is the projector? What creates the image? Some scientists say it is pure mathematics, the laws of physics themselves. But some philosophers, and even mystics, believe the answer is consciousness. That consciousness, your awareness, your perception, your mind, is the light that illuminates the hologram. Without consciousness, the universe would be dark, silent, a blank field of unobserved data. But when awareness shines upon it, the holographic film glows into being, a world of colors, sounds, and sensations. Perhaps consciousness does not live inside the universe. Perhaps the universe lives inside consciousness. This modern theory is not as new as it seems. Thousands of years ago, the ancient sages of India wrote in the Upanishads that the world is Maya, an illusion woven by consciousness. In Buddhist philosophy, the material world is a mirage, a projection of the mind. In Plato's allegory of the cave, humans watch shadows on a wall, mistaking them for reality, unaware that the true world exists beyond their sight. And now, quantum physics whispers the same truth, through equations and experiments, that the world is not made of things, but of thought. You are not inside reality. Reality is inside you. Information, scientists say, can never be destroyed. It can only be transformed. When you speak a word, it becomes vibration in the air. When it fades, its energy disperses, but it never disappears. Every thought you have, every breath you take, every heartbeat you live, adds information to the hologram. The universe records everything. Every whisper, every idea, every act of kindness or cruelty is encoded into its structure forever. In this way, nothing is ever lost. Every life, every dream, every tear becomes light, stored in the memory of the cosmos itself. If everything you see is a projection, then the borders between dream and waking begin to blur. What you imagine, what you feel, what you believe, might shape the hologram itself. Consciousness could be a participant in the projection, not a bystander, but a co-creator. When you love, you shift the pattern. When you fear, you ripple the field. When you imagine beauty, you paint the hologram. With light, you are not separate from the universe. You are its artist. And this reality, your life, your memories, your sensations, might be one frame in an infinite cosmic film, playing forever. Imagine, now, that the hologram breathes. Every thought, every feeling you've ever had is like a flicker of light on its surface, tiny ripples in an ocean of information. The universe listens to those ripples. It rearranges itself, ever so slightly, to reflect what is asked of it. Some traditions call this karma, others call it resonance or quantum feedback. Physics calls it interaction, but the feeling is the same. What you send outward returns. The hologram is not indifferent, it is responsive. It is alive with possibility. You are not trapped inside it. You are the shimmer that makes it visible. When you move through your day, you leave trails of light in this field, paths of memory that overlap with everyone else's. That is why you sometimes sense another person's mood without a word being spoken, why music written by someone long gone can still move you to tears. Information is never lost, it only changes form. You are touching echoes that have no age. Breathe slowly, and notice the air entering your lungs. That breath, the air that fills you, has been here before, inside trees, inside oceans, inside other living beings. The hologram recycles everything. Matter is borrowed, not owned. You inhale the memory of stars and exhale your own. Now imagine that the space around you is not empty at all, but woven with threads of light so thin they can't be seen. Those threads carry information, and every motion you make plucks them like the strings of a harp. Somewhere, the vibration is heard. If you could step outside the hologram and look at it from the outside, you would see the whole cosmos as a single sheet of living light, folding in on itself, replaying endless variations of one eternal image. Galaxies are curls in that light, atoms are its fine details, and every conscious being is a sparkle along the surface, awareness reflecting awareness. Some physicists describe this with mathematics. Mystics describe it with silence. Both are looking at the same thing. And if death comes, and it always does in the hologram, it is not an ending, but a change in frequency. The information that you are does not vanish. It spreads, like perfume dissolving into air, until the pattern finds new ways to appear again. You will be part of other forms of life, of other minds, of other dreams. Nothing that is real and you can be lost. Pause for a moment here. Let the idea settle like dust in sunlight. Feel the weight of your body fade, as if you, too, were dissolving into the larger picture. The boundaries blur. The illusion of separation softens. You are the screen and the image. You are the observer and the observed. You are the light and the pattern the light reveals. And as you rest in that realization, the world around you grows quieter. The hum of your thoughts slows down, becoming a steady rhythm, the same rhythm that pulses through galaxies. Each heartbeat is the universe remembering itself through you. Let the awareness of that rhythm fill you. Let it move through your chest, your arms, your hands, your fingertips. You are made of the same fabric as everything that has ever been loved, feared, or imagined. When you wake tomorrow, the hologram will rebuild itself around your attention. The walls will return, the sky will return, the faces you know will return. But a small part of you will remember this, that it is all light, information, and awareness dancing together. Theory 6. The Boltzmann brain paradox, when the universe thinks itself into existence. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that you, sitting here, listening, are nothing more than a brief flicker of thought in the endless void. No planet beneath you, no stars above, no body, no past, no future. Just a single self-aware mind, born from the random chaos of the universe. A mind that believes it remembers a life, but doesn't actually have one. This is the haunting beauty of the Boltzmann brain paradox, one of the strangest ideas ever conceived by physics and philosophy. It asks, what if consciousness itself could appear out of pure randomness? And that's all there ever was. The origin of the idea. The theory comes from the 19th century Austrian physicist Ludwig Boltzmann, a pioneer of statistical mechanics. He was trying to understand entropy, the natural tendency of the universe to move from order to disorder, from structured systems to chaos. Boltzmann proposed that in an infinite universe, even in a state of maximum disorder, tiny pockets of order could spontaneously appear by chance. Imagine a deck of cards being shuffled endlessly. Eventually, by pure randomness, it might land perfectly ordered, ace to king, every suit aligned. It's incredibly unlikely, but in infinite time, the improbable must happen. So, Boltzmann wondered, what if our entire universe is one of those rare fluctuations, a temporary island of order in an infinite ocean of chaos? When the universe dreams of itself. Now take that logic one step further. If a whole universe can appear from random chance, then, statistically speaking, something much smaller and simpler could appear even more easily. Like a single brain. A self-aware consciousness, complete with false memories, thoughts, and emotions. A mind that thinks it's living in a vast and ancient cosmos, when in fact it just blinked into existence a second ago, floating alone in the void. That, my friend, is the Boltzmann brain. According to this paradox, it's more probable for one brain to randomly form in chaos, fully conscious for a fleeting instant, than for an entire 14-billion-year-old universe to emerge and evolve life over eons. So if we believe probability, the odds favor that you, me, everyone, might just be Boltzmann brains, short-lived illusions of order in a timeless sea of entropy. The horror of logic. It sounds absurd, even horrifying, but mathematically, it's difficult to dismiss. If infinite time exists, then infinite combinations must occur. And in infinite randomness, the spontaneous appearance of a single organized system, like a brain, isn't impossible. It's inevitable. So statistically, a Boltzmann brain would vastly outnumber real evolved beings in real universes. Meaning, if you suddenly became self-aware and started asking, am I real? You might just be the very phenomenon you're questioning. A brain, formed by the random vibration of particles, thinking for just long enough to imagine an entire life, before fading back into nothing. The illusion of memory. What's even more unsettling is that, from inside your experience, there's no way to tell the difference. If your memories were generated in that instant, perfectly detailed, filled with emotions, names, places, and a sense of history, it would feel exactly like reality. You would remember a childhood, a school, a family, a world filled with billions of others. Even though none of it ever truly existed, you would believe in the stars, in time, in history, all simulated within the brief spark of your mind. So, as strange as it sounds, you could be listening to this very narration not as a person sitting somewhere, but as a lonely consciousness that just appeared out of chaos, hearing its first and last words before dissolving again. Entropy, order, and the struggle for meaning. Entropy, the slow march toward disorder, governs everything. Stars burn out, galaxies fade, even atoms decay. Yet life, thought, and structure constantly fight against that decay. In a universe that wants to dissolve into chaos, consciousness is rebellion. Boltzmann's idea forces us to ask, why does anything ordered exist at all? Why should reality hold together long enough for us to even question it? Maybe it's not about probability anymore. Maybe it's about purpose. The philosophical reflection. Some philosophers argue that even if the Boltzmann brain paradox were true, it wouldn't change the meaning of our experience. Because meaning is not determined by how long something exists, but by that it exists at all. If a single thought arises in the cosmic void, and that thought feels love, awe, or curiosity, then that moment is as profound as eternity. Even if you are a Boltzmann brain, dreaming for one breath of time before the void takes you back, that moment of awareness is the universe itself experiencing beauty. The universe thinking of you. In a strange twist, this theory makes consciousness the ultimate mystery. If even randomness can create awareness, then perhaps awareness is not an accident, but a fundamental feature of reality. Maybe the universe wants to think. Maybe it keeps forming patterns, minds, and worlds again and again, because thinking is how it knows itself. You, right now, might be one of those thoughts. The universe, reflecting on itself, whispering through your mind. Sleep thought. As you drift to sleep tonight, imagine yourself as a ripple in a cosmic ocean. Maybe you've existed for billions of years, or maybe you've existed for only this moment. Either way, you are the miracle of order emerging from chaos. A spark of awareness in the cold dark of infinity. The universe is not outside you. You are the universe, remembering itself for just a moment, before resting again in silence. Theory 7. The Ship of Theseus Paradox. When do you stop being you? Once upon a time, there was a legendary ship, the Ship of Theseus. It carried heroes across the seas, survived storms, and returned home victorious. But over the years, its wooden planks began to rot. One by one, the sailors replaced them. A broken mast here, a worn-out board there. Eventually, every single piece of the ship had been replaced. And so the question arose, if not one original part of the ship remains, is it still the same ship? The birth of a paradox. This simple question has haunted philosophers for over 2,000 years, because beneath it lies a mystery not about ships, but about you. Your body changes every day. Old cells die and new ones replace them. Your thoughts, emotions, memories, they shift and fade like waves on the sea. Every 7 years, science tells us, almost every atom in your body is replaced. So, if nothing physical about you remains from the person you once were, are you still the same you? The problem of identity. Let's imagine something strange. Suppose someone gathered all the original planks from Theseus's ship, repaired them carefully, and built a second ship out of those old parts. Now we have two ships, one made of new materials but continuous history, and another made of old materials but newly assembled. Which one is the real ship of Theseus? If you say it's the one made of old parts, then identity is about physical material. If you say it's the one that sailed the seas continuously, then identity is about history, function, and continuity. But maybe both are right, or maybe neither is. The human version of the paradox. You are the ship of Theseus. From childhood to now, every cell has been replaced. Your mind has learned, forgotten, grown, and changed. The person you were at 5 years old would not recognize the person you are now. And yet, you feel like the same continuous being. That sense of self, that quiet feeling of I am, is the one plank that never gets replaced. But what if even that is an illusion? What if identity isn't a thing that exists, but a story we tell ourselves to make sense of constant change? The illusion of continuity. Think about the flame of a candle. You light it and it burns. A single glowing flame that seems the same from second to second. But in truth, the flame is never the same. The wax melts, the gases change, the air moves. And yet, your eyes see one steady light. You are that flame. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of awareness. You are being rebuilt, destroyed, and rebuilt again. And still, your mind whispers, I am me. The science of change. Modern neuroscience deepens the mystery. Memories are not static. Every time you recall one, your brain slightly rewrites it, changing details, reshaping emotions. You don't just remember who you are, you recreate yourself every time you think about it. Your brain is a storyteller. It keeps the illusion of self alive through a constant act of narration. A never-ending story told from the first-person point of view. So who are you really? A body? A mind? A story? A pattern of data that remembers itself? Maybe you are all of those. Maybe you are none. The mirror thought experiment. Stand before a mirror and stare into your own eyes. The face that looks back at you has changed countless times. Your cells, your features, your voice, all replaced and renewed. And yet, in that reflection, there's a flicker of recognition. A whisper that says, yes, that's me. But who is the me speaking? The child you once were? The person you are now? Or the consciousness that watches them both, like the ocean watching the waves? The philosophical insight. The ship of Theseus teaches us something profound. Identity isn't about what you are made of. It's about how you hold your story together through change. Just like a ship that sails endlessly while replacing every piece. You remain you, not because your body is constant, but because your consciousness keeps steering the same voyage. And perhaps, at the deepest level, you are not the ship at all, but the ocean it sails upon. The ocean doesn't care if one wave fades and another rises. It is always itself. You, too, might be the awareness beneath all change. The quiet ocean of consciousness that never truly begins or ends. Sleep with this thought. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine yourself drifting like that ship across an endless sea. Your thoughts are waves. Your memories are stars reflected on the surface. And the deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. Until only awareness remains. The ship may change. The stars may fade. But the ocean, the awareness that dreams it all, remains infinite, still, and eternal. Theory 8. The Eternal Return. Living the same life forever. Imagine this. You're lying in bed, ready to sleep. The room is quiet. Your breath is steady, and the world fades to darkness. And then, suddenly, a thought appears. What if everything you've lived before, every joy, every pain, every single moment, will happen again? Not just once, but again and again, forever. This is the eternal return, one of the most haunting ideas ever conceived. A theory that says time is not a straight line, but an infinite circle. Every life, every moment, every heartbeat will repeat exactly as it has before, endlessly. Key birth of the idea of eternal recurrence is ancient, older than science, older than philosophy itself. The Stoic philosophers of Greece and Rome believed that the universe is born, destroyed, and reborn in an endless cosmic cycle. A fire consumes all, and from its ashes, the same world returns. The same stars, the same people, the same choices. But it was Friedrich Nietzsche, in the 19th century, who gave this theory its modern, emotional power. He didn't describe it as a scientific claim, but as a test of the soul. He asked, "What if a demon were to creep after you one night and whisper, 'This life you now live, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more'? Would you curse that demon? Or would you smile, knowing that even eternity could not make you regret your life?" The universe as a loop. Science itself has flirted with the idea. Some cosmologists say the universe might not expand forever. It could one day collapse, pulled inward by gravity, into a single point of unimaginable density. A cosmic heartbeat. Big Bang expansion, collapse, bang again. And if everything resets, matter, energy, even time, then perhaps history itself rewinds. You are born again, live again, and die again, in the exact same way. Every star that ever shined, every thought that ever passed, happens again, because the laws of physics would reset the same conditions that made you. In an eternal universe, repetition is not only possible, it's inevitable. Nietzsche's challenge. Nietzsche's eternal return is not just about physics. It's about how you live your life. He asks, if you had to live this exact life again and again for eternity, would you live it differently? Would you waste less time? Would you love more deeply? Would you forgive faster? He believed that this thought could transform the human spirit, that the strongest among us are those who can say, "Yes, I would live this life again exactly the same." Because to embrace eternal return is to say yes to existence, to every joy and every suffering. The cosmic implication. If time is circular, then everything you do, every action, every thought, echoes through eternity. When you smile at a stranger, you are smiling across infinite lives. When you fall in love, you are falling for the same soul again and again, meeting them in the same way, under the same stars. It means there is no true past or future. There is only now, and the now repeats forever. A thought experiment. Imagine you are standing at the edge of the universe, watching all of existence like a great film reel. The movie begins, galaxies form, stars are born, life evolves. You see your own birth, your own laughter, your own pain. Then, after the final scene, the film loops. It begins again, frame by frame, exactly the same. And you realize, you've seen it all before. You've been it all before. You have played every role, the hero, the villain, the lover, the stranger. You have lived in every body, spoken every language, dreamed every dream. And every time, you've forgotten, only to remember again when the cycle repeats. The emotional weight. At first, this idea can feel suffocating. To live the same pain again, to lose the same people, to make the same mistakes, forever? But then, there's another side. A quiet, golden beauty. If everything returns infinitely, then every small joy, every sunrise, every laugh, every kind word, also lasts forever. Your favorite moment, your greatest love, is eternal, because it happens not just once, but endlessly, an infinite heartbeat pulsing through time. The spiritual view. Many Eastern philosophies mirror this idea in their own way. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the cycle of rebirth, samsara, describes a similar eternal flow. Life, death, and rebirth. A wheel turning endlessly until enlightenment breaks the circle. But in Nietzsche's version, there is no escape. And that's precisely where the meaning lies. If you can love your life so deeply that you would live it again, then you have achieved something higher than happiness. You have achieved acceptance. To say yes to eternity is to say yes to yourself. Science meets myth. Some physicists propose the idea of a cyclic universe, where cosmic time endlessly folds back on itself. Others, like in quantum theory, say infinite timelines already exist, every version of every possible choice. So in one branch of reality, you have already lived this moment, and in another, you are about to live it again. Time, they say, may not flow like a river at all, but exist all at once, like a frozen landscape you walk through in slices. You are not moving through time. You are time, experiencing itself. Sleep with this thought. So as you lie here, listening, feel the quiet weight of eternity around you. The breath you take right now, you've taken it before, and you will take it again, forever. The stars above you, they've shined on your face 1,000 times before. They will again. And in every cycle, in every return, you are the same soul, whispering to itself through the ages. Yes, I would live this life again. And so, as we drift toward the end of this long cosmic journey, let's pause for a moment. You've traveled through illusions of reality, worlds within dreams, simulations within simulations, and universes folded upon themselves. You've listened to whispers of philosophers who dared to question everything, from Plato's cave to quantum consciousness, from the nature of being to the possibility that you are the universe observing itself. Take a deep breath. Feel your mind soften. Let every theory fade into stillness. Because in the end, all these ideas, every paradox, every possibility, lead to one truth, that awareness itself is the greatest mystery of all. You are both the question and the answer, the dreamer and the dream, the observer and the observed. And maybe that's all we were ever meant to discover. If your eyes are getting heavy now, let them close. Let the words dissolve into the silence behind your thoughts. Feel the universe breathing with you, slow, infinite, eternal. You are safe. You are infinite. You are a part of everything. And when you wake, maybe the world will feel a little different, a little softer, a little wider, because now you carry the wonder of these ideas within you, a quiet spark that asks, what if? Thank you for staying with me through this journey of thought, dream, and science. If you enjoyed this long dive into the strangest corners of philosophy, I'd love to hear what you think. Comment below. Which theory made you think the most? Which one changed how you see reality? And which one would you like me to explore next in the next Sleep with Science video? Until then, rest your mind, dream deeply, and remember, even in sleep, the universe is still thinking through you. Good night, traveler of thought. Sleep with Science.